I think a startup has to think about all the things they have and what can be protected. And it's not just, gee, do I have an invention? No, you may not, but you may have things that you can protect by design patent or by copyright. Anything you've created may potentially be protectable. And all those protections can insulate you or act as an economic barrier in terms of people competing with you.
In addition to IP, intellectual property, the ground rules, the rules of engagement with the people that you're working with, the people that are helping you found the company, can be important to figure out before you dive in, because you're all going to put a lot of time and effort into this, and you want to make sure that everybody thinks it's fair going into it, I think, is the key. So.
My experience in the smaller business and startup world has been that companies really rely on their friends to gain understanding of what they should do with their IP. And the reality is that you know what happens with a story that goes down this chain of more people that get involved, that something gets lost in translation. And clients that I deal with really have a problem in this space. They don't understand what they really can protect, what they can't protect, and going back to what Andy was saying, how do you allocate the resources?
Well, I mean, exactly what you said is what we did. I was in business school, so I asked all my business school friends who had done a startup what they did and what they recommended, and they gave me the few things to do that they did, and they were still in business, so that was pretty much what I did.
I think, that's an easy way, especially if you're going to business with a friend, which a lot of people do, or somebody that you know. It allows you to say, hey, it's just business, it's just the contract. You don't have to ruin the personal relationship when things go wrong. You can fall back and say, look, this is what the contract said. We agreed on it when there wasn't a problem, when there wasn't any animosity, and so it really allows you to kind of preserve that personal relationship that you might have going in if you can fall back and blame the lawyers instead of
To overlay the business exposure on this, a lot of the panelists talked about the intern. 98% of the time, all the code that intern generates is junk, and you're going to throw it away. So the practicality is that you absolutely should have an assignment in place for that 2% of the time where the intern actually produces a good product. But the business reality is that there are so many things that you're going to have to let slip, and I think there are a few. It would be interesting if we can figure out what those few are that you definitely can't let slip.
Like HubSpot, the culture code is a perpetual work in progress, so we'll update it periodically. We've actually put together a company culture code, which is on the web. You can find it on the web if you Google it, and it talks about the type of values that the company has. And I think that can be really important when it comes to success, so that everyone's kind of moving in the same direction, or really aware of the values of the company.
First, the organization is determined by the span of years you're going to be organized. You're going to be a corporation, you can do it almost indefinitely. I got a rule of perpetuities issues with corporations out the wazoo, but limited liability companies have to have a termination date under most jurisdictions, so you have to address that issue. Partnerships, there are liability issues. Those are all individual legal questions that have to be addressed on a fact-specific basis. This is not a general question, this is not a theoretical inquiry at all. And because you put it up there, which one of these three is best? Come on. Depends on what you've got sitting in front of you and what their needs are.
Okay, fine. Good thoughts. I don't agree with them, but we'll get to that.
Oh, well, we'll litigate.